Africa Global Radio. Our story, our growth, our future.
Headlines across Africa.
Welcome to Africa Global Radio. I'm Itumeleng Lebogang, bringing you headlines across Africa for Thursday, 28th of March. In today's bulletin, schools to reopen in South Sudan after 2 weeks closure due to extreme heat. Bassirou Diomaye Faye wins Senegalese presidential election with 54.28% of the votes. And Togo's opposition rejects constitutional reform and calls for protests. South Sudan's government have announced that schools will reopen next week following a 2-week closure due to extreme heat across the country. According to the Health and Education Ministries, temperatures are expected to steadily drop, with the rainy season set to begin in the coming days. South Sudan in recent years has experienced adverse effects of climate change, with extreme heat, flooding and drought reported during different seasons. During the heat wave last week, the country registered temperatures up to 45 degrees Celsius. Health Minister Yolanda Obeng singled out northern Bahir al-Ghazal, Warab, Unity and Upper Nile states as the most affected areas. Teachers have been advised to ventilate classrooms, provide water during school time, minimize playground activities to early morning or indoors, and to monitor children for signs of heat exhaustion and heat stroke. Provisional official results of the highly anticipated presidential election held in Senegal have been unveiled, revealing 44-year-old Bassirou Diomaye Faye as the victor with 54.28% of the votes. The announcement made by the National Vote Counting Commission marks a significant moment in the country's political landscape. Closely behind Faye is Amadou Ba, who secured 35.79% of the votes, positioning him in second place. Aliou Mamadou Dia follows with 2.8%, Khalifa Sall with 1.56%, and Idrissa Seck with 0.9%. The voter turnout for the election reached 61.3%, indicating a strong civic participation among the Senegalese population. Presidential candidates have 72 hours after the results are announced by the Commission to lodge an appeal with the Constitutional Council. So far, though, his victory has been acknowledged by his opponents, signifying a moment of unity and acceptance within the country's political sphere. The Constitution states that if no appeals are made in this period, the Council shall immediately proclaim the final results of the ballot. Now for some updates on Togo's constitutional reform. Activists and opposition leaders in the West African country have called for protests to stop the country's president from signing off on a new constitution that would scrap future presidential elections and could see Ofori extend his rule. The constitution, which was passed by the country's lawmakers earlier this week but awaits President Ofori's final approval, grants Parliament the power to choose the president, doing away with the direct election. This makes it likely that Nasibe would be re-elected when his mandate expires in 2025. However, some legal experts say the constitution actually restricts the power of future presidents as it introduces a one-term limit and hands over greater power to a figure similar to a prime minister, officially called the President of the Council of Ministers. Opposition, however, fears the role could become another avenue for Nasibe to extend his grip on power. The Catholic Christian clergy has also urged the president not to sign the bill into law. According to the Conference of Togolese Catholic Bishops, such an important subject, which will profoundly change the political life of the country, must give rise to broad consultation and a more inclusive national debate. And with that, we've come to the end of Headlines Across Africa with me, Itumeleng Lebogang. Join us again tomorrow for our final bulletin of the week, right here on Africa Global Radio.
For this and more, check us out on africaglobalradio.com. On Facebook and YouTube, Africa Global Radio. On Twitter and Instagram, AF Global Radio.